positive, and it's a challenge every week. So
well, yeah, we're doing that here in Minnesota right now. Called Loserville, I guess, is what they're calling it. Because no, I don't know. We're having problems. My boyfriend actually was in the Olympics twice for cycling. So, but he's really into the sports and everything, except for the Minnesota's not doing too well this year, so it's not a good topic.
Finally doing a little better.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, and then the Nationals are playing really well. So hopefully the Redskins with Robert Griffin will end up doing a lot better than we have in the last 20 years. But
20 years, right? Oh, gosh. So what about touring now? Are you now? Do you play with the Welchers all the time, or are you doing solo, or do you do a combination of both? And are you planning any tours for the summer?
I definitely do a combination of both, and that's, I think, one of the nice things is the flexibility. Is that I do write a lot of songs so that they can be both, and I can do acoustic or I can do full band stuff, and
right.
And they do have different feels, obviously. But we are trying to put together a show, a string of shows for the summer. We've already got a couple lined up, and we're trying to get a bunch more lined up. But for the time being, we're I think primarily sticking towards the East Coast, maybe going out a little bit further west, but not too far, just for time constraints or time restraints, things like that. But
is there anybody you'd like to play with that maybe you like perform with that you haven't already?
I just really love playing with new people.
Yeah.
I mean, I love building that chemistry, and I think that's kind of where my love for sports comes in too, is the kind of teamwork mentality. And then one of the great things about music is, you can all read the same notes and look at the same page and study the same song, but everyone's putting in their own sort of feel on it, or their own taste, or their own their own kind of personality on whatever they're doing, and that's why it's always interesting to kind of play with more different people and new people. Like, it's tough to say if I'd want to play with anyone established, because I mean, as much as I'd love to, and I'd never turn anything like that down, but
you have your own style, and it's great, and
yeah,
it's nice. I mean,
they're established in what they do,
right? Exactly.
Like, it's hard to kind of, when someone has had success in what they're doing, it's kind of tough to get them to peel back. But a lot of musicians really aren't like that too. So a lot of musicians are always very open about exploring, and I kind of like the jazz mentality, but I'm not a jazz musician per se, so I like the jazz mentality of just kind of bringing in guys and playing with guys and seeing how it feels, more of like a nomadic sense to music, as opposed to, you marry a band till death do you part.
Well, of course, yeah. Exactly. What I was gonna ask too, because I mean, just the era has changed just over the last 10 years or so with the internet. And do you think that it all helps you, or do you think that makes it harder for you to get noticed? I'm not saying you per se. I'm saying an artist in general, because I mean, it's like there's so much everywhere. It's just, I just didn't know, as a musician's point of view, if it helps you, or do you think it hurts?
I think that right there is the billion-dollar question, and obviously the introduction of the internet to music has dramatically changed the way that music and the music business has been operating for years, and it's still continuing to change. But from what I've noticed, the beauty of it is that you have a world at your fingertips.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the downside of that is you have a world at your fingertips, and you can spend a lot of time really punching away at one thing and not go anywhere, or you could spend a little bit of time punching away on one thing and then end up, doing incredibly well. But I think that those people that are really good at promoting themselves and are like I see a lot of musicians who are very great musicians but are terrible at kind of promoting themselves. Sure. And I think it's harder for them because their music is just kind of being thrown into a pile right now, and it's very tough for people to really pick it out because there's so many other things. But for the people that really make sure that their music is sitting on top of the pile and they're great at promoting their stuff, I mean, I think they're probably going to find more success with the way that the internet operates.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, but that being said, it's still a really, I think it's such a great thing that, I mean, even home studios, I mean, I have a working studio right now that can, produce albums and put them on the radio, which is amazing. So
Yeah, that is amazing, isn't it?
and just I can record in Nicaragua and then send my tracks to someone in California who can produce them, and then he'll send them to someone in North Carolina who can master them, and then
Right.
pop on the internet, and all of a sudden we've got a CD done. So it's, I mean, the possibilities are endless. I think it's the main challenge for musicians is really honing in and not being overwhelmed by endless possibilities, but really zeroing in and focusing on what they want, and then going after what they want.
What about now the instruments? Do you play? What all instruments do you play?
Vocals first and foremost. That's and it's always funny to me, but I think a lot of people look at vocals as being like you either can or you can't. But for me, it was just years and years of training and learning how to shape your voice, learning how to get your breaths. Learning how to pronounce words differently, and making sure that you get your octaves and you hit your notes. So there's a lot that goes into vocals that I don't think people are aware of.
Yeah, that's right there. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
To be able to do that, it's not. People think, oh, just sing, but it's not.
Well, with all these, American Idol and the X Factor and The Voice and all of these shows where you have people coming up there and singing, and they're like, oh, I don't have any formal training, or so a lot of people actually are getting trained by listening to a lot of artists and doing that, which is a good way to learn, but there's still a lot of other technicalities that you really need to focus on. But it is an art.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Well, like I said, I really enjoy your music. I'm so happy about your CD coming out. And, I just really wish you all the best of luck in all you do.
Well, thank you very much. This has been great. It's always awesome to talk about music anytime I can, and being able to talk about Nicaragua and
I know, and your inspirations, and being, all your travels and how you're inspired. That just makes for such, more in-depth, great music.
I hope so. There's a very intelligent listening community out there, and you always have to treat them with respect and make sure that anything that I write or anything that I put out there is giving that community the same respect that they demand. So making sure that my influences and my ideas are fresh and updated and still interesting and appealing and can move people and affect them is of utmost importance. So.
Oh, definitely. And do you like performing live? Does that bother you at all, or do you like doing that?
I love performing live.
I bet, right?
Just having a crowd there in front of you, nothing compares to the energy of it. The studio is a completely different machine where sometimes it's very solitary and it's very perfection based. And with the microphones and the technology today, you can hear every little creak in the room.
Right.
And it's almost maddening sometimes because you want to get everything just exactly how you want it in your head. But with the live show, it's like anything goes.
Yeah.
Am I going to play the guitar over my head, or
right?
Jump into the crowd or dance around? And it's just such a great sporadic energy burst that happens right there. I love both monsters, recording and live. They're just so different.
Yeah, because I've always thought about, just being on stage and to know that, everybody came to see you has just got to be, the best feeling.
Oh, yeah. And, it's great, too, when people, just kind of wander in and they weren't prepared to see you. They weren't familiar with your music, and then they talk to you afterwards and just say how much they enjoyed it. So, it's both, but, you seeing people sing your songs and sing your lyrics along with you is a feeling that you really cannot duplicate. It's really amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really do. And where can people find your music and your stories and everything about you?
Sure. Well, right now I think Facebook is probably the best place, and our website is facebook.com/whoisevanbliss.
Who is Evan Bliss? Okay.
It's Evan Bliss. And then also YouTube. We have a lot of videos up there. So it's youtube.com/Evan Bliss Music. and myspace.com/the Welchers. And then the main web page is evanbliss.com. And we're also up on iTunes and Amazon Music and Spotify and all the Rhapsody.com, Napster, all those fantastic outlets.
Right. Do you like making videos?
Yeah, videos are fun. They're definitely they're definitely different. I don't know how much I like looking at myself or watching myself, but yeah, I guess maybe that's why I went into music and not into films, because I prefer the audio instead of the visual sometimes. But they're definitely interesting. I think as long as they're done well and they're not too self-indulgent, they're pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Plan to do more of those. I really like the Sweet Dog video, and just that it was more kind of about the dogs. And
oh, I love it.
Even though it was real broken down, kind of just slideshow and lyrics. But YouTube is also another thing that's been great for artists and allowing artists to kind of get quick videos up there that don't have to be professionally done, shot on these amazing cameras. And
sure. Yeah, it's completely changed. But yeah, the video's great. I really enjoyed that too. So, but like I said, thank you so much. And if you could you just do a little a tag saying, this is Evan Bliss from Washington, and you're with Cher Dial of World Exposure on KFAI Radio, Minneapolis. Is that? I think I wrote it. I think I sent an email to your wife, just so you had something to read. I really thank you, like again, for taking the time. You're very interesting, and like I said, I love your music, and
thanks so
much. I really wish you the best.
Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure, and thanks for having me on. That's I love talking about it, and especially with someone who's so interested in world music, and like I think that's the thing with the U.S. Sometimes we get very kind of in a box because there's so much going on, but there really is such a bigger world out there. And
oh my God, there is so much. I mean, like my brother, he travels to Haiti a lot, and to help people down there that were in the earthquake. And I mean, he's just like, you would not believe the stuff I see down there. And it's just like it's just even through his pictures, it's just. But I mean, just traveling the world, like you say, there's so much out there and so much, just world things that need to be done. And and I commend you for taking the time to with your AIDS project and your dog and everything. It's just very inspiring.
Well,
I mean that really.
Thank you. It's it's all linked, and I mean I think the way we live our lives and the way we communicate it's all linked. And anything that we can do to share and how we've lived and what we've done. If that inspires other people, fantastic. Or if it inspires other ideas, then that's even better. But that's really what music is. It's a way for us to communicate and a way for us to really, sort of not. It's not going to change the world, I don't think. But I think it's a way of empowering people to be the change in the world.
Oh, sure. But I mean, like even we were talking about your dog and how. Just taking the one dog and making a difference. If everybody could just do one little thing for one something, it would just make a huge difference for everybody. And I think that's a message too that people try to get across these days, but don't really think that maybe their actions can make a difference, but they really can. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to be babbling on. I'm just saying, but from your experience, I mean, it's true. If people just take one little step to do something, it makes a difference.
People get so overwhelmed with the bigger world around them that they forget to take those little steps.
Sure.
And making the little steps, you affect everything. And if everyone makes those little steps, everything starts to change in a positive way around them. So it's just a matter of kind of tuning out the background noise and really focusing on what's in front of you and changing what's in front of you for the better.
Right, exactly. And like I said, through your music too is inspiring to people, and I love it, and I like I said, just wish you all the best, and I hope you keep in touch with us and let us know how you're doing, and we'll do the same.
Absolutely. We'll have a couple songs out pretty soon. One of them it's called Tony Danza. That's almost ready to go. I'll be sure to.
Oh, really?
You'll be one of the first people I send it to.
Oh, yeah. Please. That would be great. All right.
Try to get Tony Danza involved, see if he's interested.
Yeah, exactly. You never know, All
So
right.
could you repeat the tag for me? Just
Yeah.